Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to this special explainer for the International Arrive Conference in Fuente Todos. Today, we're about to set sail on a really cool journey of rediscovery. We're going to uncover the incredible, long-lost story of a true pioneer, Jeanne Barret, and explore a fantastic educational project designed to bring her legacy roaring back to life. So let's dive right in. So, to really get why Jeanne Barret's story is so remarkable, we have to start right here. Picture this. It's 18th century France, and the entire world of maritime exploration, of science, was completely closed off to women. I mean, it was literally against the law for a woman to be on a naval ship. That was the wall she was up against. So the big question is, how in the world did she get past it? All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll journey through her amazing story. Then, we'll check out a new educational voyage that was inspired by her. We'll look at learning through both storytelling and hands-on practice, see how to make all that knowledge stick, and then we'll talk about why rediscovering these hidden figures is just so important. Okay, first things first. Let's meet the woman at the heart of our story, whose incredible journey was, for way too long, basically a footnote in the history books. This is Jeanne Barret. She was a brilliant botanist, she had this audacious dream, and she became the very first woman to sail all the way around the world. But, and this is the kicker, to do it, she had to pull off one of the most incredible deceptions you can imagine. So let's just trace her path for a second. She was born in 1740, and from a young age, she knew plants. I mean, she was an expert. So in 1766, she disguised herself as a man, Jeanne Barret, and managed to get a spot on the ship L'Etoile as a botanist's assistant. During the expedition, she helped collect thousands of plant specimens from all over the world. But when her identity was finally revealed, her massive contributions were just pushed aside. The credit went to the men she worked with. And this, right here, this gets to the very core of her story. To follow her passion, to pursue science, she had to completely erase who she was. Just think about that sacrifice for a minute. It was a huge risk, and she took it, all for the pursuit of knowledge. Her story is just wow. And for those of us who are educators or researchers, it brings up a huge question. How do we take a story like this, one that's been buried for centuries, and make it feel alive and relevant in a classroom today? And that is the central challenge, isn't it? It's the big question this educational project set out to answer. It's not enough to just give students a list of facts and dates. How do you make it meaningful? How do you make it stick for every single kind of learner out there? Well, the answer they came up with is this really elegant and clever framework. It's called the Four Corners methodology. The whole idea is to build a complete learning experience by creating activities that are specifically tailored to 4 different learning styles. Now, I love this slide because it gives you such a great visual for the concept. Think of it like a 4-leaf clover. You've got each leaf, theoretical, pragmatic, reflexive, and active. Each one is essential, and when you put them all together, you get this perfectly balanced whole experience. The goal is to make sure nobody gets left behind. Okay, so let's break this down and see how it actually works. We're going to start with the first 2 corners. One for the thinkers, the ones who need to know the why, and one for the doers, the ones who just want to get their hands dirty. First up is the theoretical corner. This is for all the learners out there who need logic and context to really get into something. So instead of a dry timeline, this project uses storytelling to wrap the facts of Barret's life in a story that's actually interesting. It sparks real curiosity about who she was as a person. The second corner is the pragmatic one, and this is where theory gets real. It's for the experimenters, the students who learn best by actually doing something. The idea here is to take all that information they've just learned and turn it into something they can hold, something tangible. And check this out. This is the brilliant result. Students get to create their own mini herbarium, just like the one Jeanne Barret was making on her voyage. They research and document the plants she would have seen, like the famous bougainvillea. An activity like this, it does more than teach botany. It creates this amazing direct connection to her life's work. You know, the process itself is just such a powerful learning tool. You can see the steps here. Students have to research, choose specimens, document them, and even illustrate them. This completely flips the script. They go from being passive listeners to active creators of knowledge, which is exactly what Barret herself was doing. All right, so we've engaged the thinkers and the doers. Now let's jump into the last 2 corners, which are all about organizing that knowledge and then testing it in a way that's actually fun and dynamic. So corner number 3 is the reflexive one. This is designed for students who really need to see the big picture to make sense of things. And the perfect tool for that? The mind map. It's just a fantastic way to visually connect all the dots of her story. And here's what it looks like in the end. Just look at how this single image traces her whole journey. It branches out from her biography and career all the way over to her contributions and her legacy. For a reflective learner, this isn't just a study guide. This is that aha moment where everything finally clicks. Okay, so the students have heard the story, they've created something cool, and they've organized all the information. But how do you check their understanding without just handing them a boring old test? How do you keep it spontaneous and fun? The answer is in the fourth and final corner, the active corner. This one's for the social, energetic learners who thrive on a bit of friendly competition. A gamified Kahoot quiz completely transforms assessment. It goes from being a chore to this exciting collaborative game. It tests what they know while building teamwork and quick thinking. It's just brilliant. So let's step back for a second. When you bring all four of these corners together, what's the big takeaway? Why does an approach like this really matter? And this, right here, is the key. By intentionally building activities for all the different ways people learn, this project takes abstract history and turns it into something personal, practical, and meaningful. It makes sure that Jeanne Barret isn't just another name in a textbook, but a real source of inspiration. And that really leaves us with one last big thought. You know, it took almost 200 years for Jeanne Barret to even begin to get the recognition she deserved. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other trailblazers, scientists, and artists are still out there, waiting in the shadows of history for us to find them? This absolutely incredible project was developed by Célia Novelle, Julia Cochet, and Alexandra Martin. If you'd like more information, please don't hesitate to reach out to them directly. Thank you so much for your attention.